let's go back and talk about the book that contains most of the information about performance. So the way we understand about raga, the way we understand about rasa, the things that we understand that we get from the different forms of raga, the different forms of tala, it all comes out of this book called the Natya Shastra. It doesn't deal only with the way that you perform music, the way that you interact with the audience, the way that you play your instrument, but it also how you dress, how you present yourself on stage, how you set up the stage. And it has a very deep impact on dance music in India. Now we're talking about classical dance. We're not talking about bangras or gidas, right? So as we talk about music and dance, we look at expression, abhinaya. So the Indian word for expression is abhinaya. And there are four main types. You can express yourself through body movements, angika.
Namaskaram. Abhinaya. Abhinaya is the expressional aspect of dance. We present a variety of emotions expressed using the technique of Abhinaya through some immortal compositions for dance. Abhinaya is unique to our Indian arts, and its treatment differs from one classical style to another.
You can express yourself through body movements, angika. Through speech, vachika.
മരിത്താലൻ കഫനിന്ന് ഉള്ളേ കമീസുകളെടുത്തിടല്ലേ അപ്പോൾ മത്തിരമിൽ റൗബയിലുടെ ചെന്ന് മുത്തലിയെടുത്ത ഉടുപ്പിനെ അന്ന് പറ്റിയെടുത്ത് പൊളിത്തവരന്ന് ഊക്കിൽ കിണറുകൊള്ളെ വലിത്ത് പിന്നെ.
Your angas are your major extremities. So you can actually consider your torso and up as an anga. And then upangas are your extremities. So you're talking about your legs, you're talking about your arms with the upangas. And the pratyangas, and again, my apologies for destroying this beautiful language, those are your minor limbs, limbic extremities. So you're talking about your fingers, you're talking about even your eyes. Now, it does get much more in detail, and you will be discovering that detail because there's an assignment coming up regarding this very topic, the subdivisions of the upangas and the pratyangas. Now, as we look at the expression, let's look at how Indian dance is composed, right? So you have somebody composing the raga, in which case it's going to be ragam, and that's all the melodic material, anything that has to do with melody. Then you actually have the talam, which is everything to do with rhythm, and then you have the abhinaya. And so here are several examples of how you can portray just the use of the bedas and moving your angas in this first video. Enjoy. The next video deals with the movement of upangas, and quite a bit of movement around the stage and very expressive. So you have much more abhinaya in this other performance. You probably will recognize later on this performer, as this performer is featured in the video of your assignment.
Me matale mayanora. Me matale mayanora. Me matale mayanora. Sami balkarani matale mayanora. Sami balkarani matale mayanora. Sami balkarani matale mayanora. Ye me bobo adinchilane maraje sevura. Ye me bobo adinchilane maraje sevura. Ye me bobo adinchilane maraje sevura. Marale mayanora.
Then you have the further use of the pratyangas, or the fingers, smaller body parts. You can actually see how the eyes are so expressive. In many ways, you sometimes do not need the title that you're given in the videos, as you can almost tell the story by the movements, by the bedas of this particular dances.
Samayamide ra 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 sami thamasincha gora. Samayamide ra 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 sami thamasincha gora. Samayamide ra 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 sami thamasincha gora. Samayamide ra ra sami thamasincha gora.
In your assignment, you're going to see this Bratayanam, the lessons. It's a very long video that has much more detail as to each one of the small limb bedas, the pratyangas, right? So he's going to define each one of them. So the first part of your assignment is to actually go through that video. And this time around, it looks like he cleaned up the video and went ahead and put a description of each one. So it's written out, each one of the bedas, and describe them, right? So you have it written out. He actually goes ahead and does an example. So your first task is to list each one of those bedas and describe them in your own words, not in the words that he's using here. How would you recognize this? So this glossary is going to come in very handy as you move on to your actual assignment.
Namaskaram. Dance has a very important role in India as a part of worship, a pastime, and as a part of Sanskrit dramas. Natya is the art of drama, and it includes the elements of music, dance, and mime. The Natya Shastra is the most elaborate of all treatises on acting and dramatic criticism ever written in any language. The Natya Shastra is incredibly wide in its scope. It covers stage design, music, dance, makeup, virtually every aspect of the stagecraft. Sage Bharata is said to have written this great work, Natya Shastra. It has 36 chapters and it is about 2000 years old. According to Sage Bharata, the body is classified into Angas, major limbs, Upangas, minor limbs, and Pratyangas, subsidiary limbs. And we also have another category called Mukhaja, which is nothing but the Upangas of the face. Before we go on to Vedas, the term Veda in Sanskrit means difference. In the context of Natya Shastra, Vedas are different ways to use the limbs of the body as part of communication.
These are the time code areas that you are going to visit. So between minute 250 and 254, you're going to describe which Vedas are at play. So list them and then tell me. So you list them, you have a very quick description out of your glossary, and then you're going to tell me how the dance put this together, right? Each one of these time code areas, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, should take up one paragraph in your assignment. Do take it seriously. It's one of the topical assignments in the class. Among the instruments that you could say are truly Indian, you find the sitar. The sitar is an instrument that was made very famous in the late 60s and early 70s by the Beatle George Harrison as he was taking lessons from Ravi Shankar. In fact, you find sitar playing in one of their albums. Now, the sitar has 7 playing strings. That means that you are putting your fingers on them and you have 12 resonating strings. Those strings are pretty much on the body of the instrument and their job is to react or resonate to the sounds that are being played by the other instruments. You know, you always have this sonority. The tar is a Persian instrument and the pipa is a Chinese instrument. And you're going to notice the similarities between the sitar and the pipa as the instrumentalists put these plectrums, metal plectrums on their fingers to basically strum, not really pluck the strings. And the use of microtones is all over the place. Enjoy.
My name is Wu Man. I'm holding this pipa, and when I started play this instrument when I was 9 years old. And we all think this is a Chinese instrument, but actually originally from Central Asia, not from China, from Persian, which is 2,000 years ago, through the Silk Road trade and introduced to China. And if you see old paintings, people holding like a guitar, like lute, very much like wood. And gradually Chinese developed play holding straight and with the fingers to play. You see kind of very strange, I have 5 picks on my fingers. So this is the way you pluck. That's the tremolo. This is a very basic technique of left hand. And then you start that and you can play melodies, And then you can play different. In my recital, I try to take audience with me to go to a journey, which is start with the ancient China, the music like that. You see the landscaping of China and the kind of a lot of space, a lot of styles. And then we go to modern days. What do we play right now in modern China, During Cultural Revolution, very macho and like, okay, this is a power. Are we Chinese with the nation? That kind of. You see that music changes, and then there's a lot of folk tones. Tea house music.
In the video, Woman talked about the pipa having an ascendance or being a descendant of a Persian instrument called the oud. Now, we don't know whether the oud does come from Persia or does it come from North Africa or the Middle East. It is played extensively through Persia, and perhaps one of the most famous scholars came actually from Persia and settled in Spain during the conquest of Spain, in which the Saracens were in control of Spain for 800 years. Let's listen to a little bit of the oud, which basically means wood in Arabic. We will talk more about this instrument later.